You're watching Talking Points, a focus on the political scene in Lubbock and across the South Plains.
And welcome back. Here's a look at some of the political headlines of the past week. Another hurdle cleared for the Texas Tech Vet School. The state's Higher Education Coordinating Board voted this week to approve the university's curriculum and degree program. The model eliminates the need for a teaching hospital and instead partners with veterinarians across the state to provide hands-on clinical learning. The NAACP partnering with residents in North and East Lubbock to file a complaint against the city over what they call discriminatory housing. They say the concrete plants and cottonseed oil mills near their homes are causing environmental hazards and health problems. They're asking the city to address this because of what they call unfair zoning practices. A weird law does not require a congressional candidate to actually live in the district they're running in. Good news, though, for Levelland native and former Navy Rear Admiral Ronnie Jackson. The former White House doctor still works in D.C., but did file paperwork to run for a congressional seat in the Amarillo area. Longtime Republican Mac Thornberry is retiring, and no less than 13 Republicans have jumped into that primary. And local attorney and Lubbock County Democratic Party Chair John Gibson jumped into the State House District 84 race against incumbent Republican John Frullo. Because of that, Gibson resigned as county chairman, so Democrat precinct chairs will soon vote on a replacement. Gibson says his decision to run is about changing the political tone as much as it is about issues. Some pretty good news lately for our farmers. A modest trade deal with China, and Texas Ag Commissioner Sid Miller has sent the state's regulation plan for hemp farming to federal leaders now for approval. That should happen quickly. This as a Dallas-based company announced its plans to build an enormous hemp processing facility in shallow water. And our Brenda Lipinski has more.
This quiet town could be on the verge of a boom, a billion-dollar boom.
Well, yes, we expect that this facility will be the largest industrial decortication facility to produce fiber and cellulose from industrial hemp in the United States.
His Dallas-based company has secured a 250,000 square foot processing facility in the city.
We were very attracted to the High Plains region of Texas to begin with, and we like the Lubbock County and shallow water because, frankly, it's the heart of cotton country.
Panda Biotech is not the only one who's excited. Even the mayor of Shallow Water released a statement. Pentac says contrary to some belief,
this has nothing to do with marijuana whatsoever.
In fact, he says it's the opposite.
The hemp that we'll be processing at this facility will be used only for industrial applications, for manufacturing applications.
And although plans are being made, the company will have to wait just a little longer to get started.
Right now, it is not legal to grow hemp in the state of Texas. According to the law that was set up by the Texas legislature and by the federal government with the Farming Act.
Coming soon, though, Brenda Lipinski reporting. The law allowing hemp farming was championed by Lubbock Senator Charles Perry and others. It changes the legal definitions of marijuana and hemp to point out the differences. But that created a problem for some law enforcement agencies who suddenly had no way to test drug suspects to figure out which weed was which. Some officers and prosecutors even stopped moving forward with small marijuana cases. We wondered how new Lubbock Police Chief Floyd Mitchell would deal with this, and our Matthew Stell asked him about it as part of 5 Good Minutes with the Chief.
Why Lubbock? That's an interesting question. Everyone asked that question. They even asked that question during the interview process. During the interview process, I responded with, why not? Why not Lubbock? Lubbock is a very nice metropolitan city of over 260,000. Very strong economy, nice college, nice amenities, and very good police department. When I got to looking and doing my research, when I saw the job posting for this department, I looked at everything in Lubbock. I actually came here and went to a First Fridays event, and me and my wife drove around. It is a very nice city. The job posting indicated that the police department was going through a decentralization process. And for a law enforcement professional, when you look at a police department and how they're growing and what their goals and objectives are and how they want to reach out and be part of that community, and this is part of the decentralization process in doing the 3 substations within each of these communities, I thought, wow, they are really forward thinking. They are going in the direction that, modern police departments are going. So I looked and delved a little deeper. And when I looked at all the information that was available to me, I thought, why not Lubbock?
So when it was announced that you were to be the next chief, we saw a lot of folks, especially on our Facebook pages, saying we hate to see Chief Mitchell leave Temple. Such a great chief, you know, just great comments by far. What is it that you did in Temple that you believe that the people, that the citizens were just so profoundly impacted by?
Well, I hope I was just being me. I think just being in Temple, being there and reaching out to those communities, going to different events, letting people know that, one, I was approachable, I was what I thought was engaging, and that I cared about them and how they were policed, I think is probably what you were seeing in those Facebook posts. I think it's important for people to understand that policing, you know, for people on the outside and the inside to understand that policing is important to everyone. Everyone's public safety is important, and we have to make sure that they understand that we are here as public servants for them. And just being able to communicate that, just being able to demonstrate that is important, and just making those connections, building those relationships. And I hope to do the same thing here, is to build those relationships and be out in the community where people see me, we can talk through difficult issues, and we could, you know, come to some type of understanding, but making sure that they understand that I'm here for their public safety and want to make sure that we have a very smart, well-trained, well-equipped, talented police department that is protecting people's constitutional rights.
A growing thing we're seeing across the country is marijuana and policing marijuana. What's your plan for that? Are you going to continue to, you know, uphold state law and police it, you know, the way that, you know, other departments will, or are you going to follow more large departments like Houston and Dallas who aren't policing it as hard? What's your plan?
Well, I think the big misconception is people think that marijuana is one of our biggest problems. I will tell you, you know, in my experience, meth has been our biggest issue right here within the Texas area. And even here, a lot of our things have to deal with methamphetamine. But, you know, I am an agent of the judicial system. I believe in everyone's constitutional rights. So when you talk about the whole marijuana picture, right now marijuana is illegal in the state of Texas. So from a law enforcement standpoint, I have to follow the laws of our Constitution. So, you know, if that changes, then we in the law enforcement community will stay within our boundaries or within our lane in regards to what we can prosecute for and what we can arrest and police for. So from my standpoint right now, marijuana is illegal. Until that's something different within our state, that's what we're going to do.
And then Lubbock, you know, as a city, you've got, I mean, these different demographics. You've got a large student population. You've got a large, you know, senior citizen population. You've got a large young family population. What is it in your policing, you know, leadership, are you going to be able to meet the needs of all these different demographics?
Absolutely. I mean, what you're describing is a major metropolitan city, again, growing up in that type of environment, this is normal to me. This is home. You try to involve everyone. I know the city has different events throughout the city to attract people to come out to all those different demographics. As a police department, we have to do the same thing. We have to make sure that we are engaging to all those different demographics to let people know that we are here for them. I'm excited about it. You know, again, this is, you know, a larger community than I was policing in Temple, but, you know, communities are the same. I had a great community, great support in Temple, great people in Temple. I don't expect anything different here in Lubbock, just on a larger scale.